Right, let's give that a go. Hopefully this is working. I can hear echo already. Am I echoing? Something is not working, I think. Ooh, that sound is terrible. What mic have you got set up? That's a very good question. That is a very good question. Might be, let's try that one. Didn't like that. Is that any better?
Oh, now it's echoing.
Oh God. Where's that coming from? Where's my mouse? There we go. Good evening, everyone. Advanced audio properties. That's right. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Is that working now? It's quietish. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can hear you, but it's very quiet. What's going on tonight? I'm sure I must have changed something during the week, but I don't know what. So let's crank that up a little bit. There we go. Is that better? Any better now? Hi Mike, I can hear you loud and clear, says Andrew Johnson. Still very quiet, says Dutch Jam. Blue toilet paper, still very low. I've just cranked it up, so there's going to be a bit of a delay. A bit better, good. Tap your microphone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me? Is this working? We ain't hearing the tapping. It's picking up camera mic. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry, I think I may have plugged in the wrong thing. Have I plugged in the wrong thing? Right, that is now on the camera mic. So, have I used the wrong cable? Maybe I have used... Oh, I know what I've done. Sorry. Rookie mistake. So that's got to be in line out. And I bet I've plugged it into the headphone jack rather than the microphone jack, which I can't even see. Right, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. And I've lost my RGB. You'd think by now, after all the years of doing this, I would actually have a clue about what I'm doing. Right. Is that any better? Can you hear me now? That looks like it might be peaking a little bit. We'll soon find out. Right. Is that better? Loads better? Yay! Okay, is that too loud now? Am I clipping? Sorted, awesome. Loads better.
Paul Lamont is in chat. Can you tell him to email you his address for beanie?
Yes, Paul Lamont, email me your details for the beanie.
For postal.
For postal stuff. This is even better. Oh my god, there's life. Workable, says Paul Lamont. Workable I can work with. It's a bit loud though. Right, okay, so let's don't adjust your volumes. I'll adjust it on here because I've cranked this up now, which I don't normally do. So let's turn that down to maybe 4. 1 2 1 2. Actually, I'm going to turn that up. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be picking up much on this one. I'm going to grab the other mic pack a minute just to be on the safe side. So turn this one on. Or turn the power on, that would be better. Sega. So we're going to turn this one off now. So I'll be hearing double.
Is this case the same as a John's bow?
It is, yes, it is the same as the John's bow. Is that any better volume wise? How are we looking now? Let's turn that up. So that's on 5. And next year, Kindly Mike will learn how to count up to 5. You never know. Bob says, just perfect. Now it gone worse. All right. Has it got better yet? There is going to be a delay. So do be patient. Turn up to 11. I don't think it's got 11 on it. Just position. Oh yeah, where's the lab anyway? There's there, isn't it? Dutch Jan says it's okay now. I don't know why I get so much problems. Or so much problems? That's terrible English. Is that better? Are you actually able to hear me? Clearly you can see me and there doesn't appear to be any obvious lag, I think. Welly Bob's got back. Perfect, Nick Barnes says. Okay. Thanks, Welly Bob. Perfect. Yes, Mike. I can hear you. Your English, goodly big time. You English goodly big time. Okay. Good. Okay. Says Marcus Barnett. All fine now. We are happy fans. Ugly. William Buddy says, wow, Ugly Bob, we can hear Mike's heartbeat now. That's not that good, is it? I have got it cranked right up, which it shouldn't really be, actually. I should have changed something else. It's because I've got this bloody stupid Mike's Unboxing t-shirt thing on, which I'll leave it there. That should be okay. Possibly. I'm going to revert my settings back in camera. No, that is, yeah, minus 12 dB. That is absolutely correct. Thanks for that. So, yeah, this is showing really, really low on the actual Boya box. Anyway, William Bodie says just a joke. Oh, that's all right then. I have done that before. I've actually made entire videos where I've been doing stuff and it's basically, I'm typing, as soon as I'm quiet, you can hear ba-boom, 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 which ideally you're not supposed to have. David Underhill says, when are Mike's digital trading cards going to be available? Not a bad idea. Let's get some NFTs on the go.
Catching your clothes skin.
Oh, it's this. I really struggle getting my lav to work properly with this setup. So how can I do this?
Flip it on your Kolink.
It's a bit low down. It'll scratch around. Let's undo that. Undo a button. Right, we'll see how that goes. I'll try not to move around too much. Is it still scratching? See, this is what I normally wear a Mike's Unboxing t-shirt. It's far easier. I'm used to doing the clip it on. It just sits there and it's all right. Anyway, whatever. Let's just carry on with this stream. It's nearly Christmas, thank goodness. Although that doesn't mean a great deal for a lot of us out there that are probably going to be working all through Christmas, like myself and
Ultimate Tech Hub.
Mrs. Mike's Unboxing will be.
He's just come in.
Ultimate Tech Hub's here as well. Awesome.
He'll be working through it.
Stripper Mike. I was almost tempted, yes. Anyway, thank you all for joining us on this Saturday evening. Christ, it is Christmas. It's 8:30 on Saturday, the something of 12th of December, 2022. Very nearly Christmas. One more stream till Christmas. And in fact, next week's stream will be on Christmas Eve. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do for Christmas Eve stream. We will be doing a stream, for sure, unless I'm dead or something, which obviously will be not quite as entertaining show, but you never know. Could be fun watching my spirit lift from my body, but yeah, that probably won't happen. Yeah. Yeah, so we will be doing a stream next week, which will be Christmas Eve. I'm not too sure if we're going to be going right into midnight for Christmas Day. I think that's probably pushing things a little bit far, but we'll see how things go. We'll try and have a few laughs, have a little bit of a roundup of the year, all the things which have done, which have been good, some that have been bad, and yeah, we'll just be recapping. Possibly we might even end up doing the build in this case, which I'm going to be unboxing tonight, if I can manage to get the parts. If the United Kingdom as a whole manages to pull its finger out of his butt and actually get things delivered, or actually gets things in stock, that would be great. Either of those would be awesome. Ugly Bob says, at least you know you have next Sunday off work, Mike. That is true.
Although,
That is very true. I have got I have got next Sunday off, although they have asked me to work additional days. So yeah, I basically work every day anyway, because obviously Mike's Unboxing is a 24/7 thing almost. It carries on regardless of what day it is, wherever it is, it just carries on. So even though I won't be working in the shop on the Sunday morning, well, Sunday morning afternoon for Christmas Day or New Year's Day, they have asked me to do additional days, which I've tried to get out of so I can actually try and get some more content done. I have got videos made up until, I think we're covered, what was it, 2 weeks and 2 days?
I think it is. So that's...
Yeah, so we've got 12 videos in the pipeline ready to go. Most of which, if you are actually a Patreon member, which God bless you those that are, Kav's slacking, she just said, about sending out the Patreon videos, but we have got 12 videos waiting in the pipeline, so if you're bored at Christmas and you want to catch up with some videos and you don't want adverts all the way through them, then you can get our videos from patreon.com/Mike's Unboxing. Sign up, doesn't cost a great deal, I think it's about $2 or something is the lowest one, and you still get access to all the videos, which you're more than welcome to do. And of course, YouTube members, again, God bless you lot as well. You do get videos normally about 2 weeks early-ish. About a week early, I think it is at the moment, because we've kind of scaled back a little bit.
Yeah, they get a week's worth.
Yeah, it's about a week's worth of video content early. So yeah, again, you may find that interesting if you wish to purchase a membership. You don't have to. I am looking in the new year of finding some way that we can cut Patreon and YouTube membership out of the equation and do some form of direct payment. So if you want to support the channel directly, you can do, but still get access to the videos without adverts, and maybe we'll host them on our own server here, and then you can have access to the entire back catalogue of Mike's Unboxing videos completely ad-free, and stream them to your own devices in full HD, or even 4K possibly, we'll see. Not too sure. Something which I've been thinking about for a long time, because YouTube and Patreon and all that, they do take a chunk out of the money, and you do it mostly to support us, and the middleman just gets in the way. Much like the tax man. We hate the tax man. Spent hours this week updating our taxes for the tax return. That was depressing, but fun at the same time. You look back and think, Christ, I didn't buy all that stuff, did I? Oh, maybe I did. Where is it? Oh yeah, I know where it is. Mostly underneath the table and on the shelves behind me. So, a little bit of housekeeping. We'll get out of the way first of all. Was it Rick H's birthday? Rick H, wasn't it?
No, was it? Mick Wood, wasn't it?
No, it was Rick. Rick's birthday. Rick H is...
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Rick is 66, clickety-click, 66. Happy birthday to you, Rick H. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, brilliant stuff. 66, what a great age to get to. These days, I think that is an achievement in itself. If you get anything over 50, I think it's you've done pretty well for yourself in this modern day we're in at the moment. So that is awesome. Thanks to all of you again for tuning in tonight. It's really good to see you, and I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of people going out to Christmas parties and stuff like that, so I'm expecting the viewing figures to be rather low, but hopefully you guys that will be watching this in the video on demand after it's finished and gone live and updated, all that sort of stuff, so hopefully you'll enjoy the show with your hungover brains on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon if it is that bad a hangover, or maybe even Monday if you just get completely blind drunk and just cannot face a TV screen or a iPad, your phone, anything like that. So hopefully you will enjoy it also. I keep on hearing a weird noise coming from my microphone, I think. Like feedback. Anyway. Ugly Bob says, I'm shocked I made it to 50. I always said that I wouldn't see 40. I was convinced I would never see 40. And, well, I did. I'm not going to say how long ago that was, but I did see 40. Oh, that's what it is that?
Unboxing, like and sub sign.
Yes.
Is buggering with the camera focus now, and again, I don't drink.
The Mike's Unboxing. Yeah, that thing has been the bane of my life, because
yeah.
Panasonic, learn English, Michael, it's very useful at times. Panasonic cameras are notorious for having absolutely rubbish autofocus. So even if I put it in chimpanzee eye detect mode, which obviously should lock onto me like an absolute limpet, it refuses to do so. Panasonic cameras use a stupid thing called depth from defocus technology, which is great if you're taking still photos because it basically looks at the image, then it sends a quick pulse backwards to the back of the image, and then it sends another pulse to the front of the image, and then it works out where it should be focusing from that. Panasonic, that is not a good thing to do for video because all you get is this pulsing or background pulsing, so whatever's in focus, it keeps on bouncing back and forward, so you get little blips, and it is extremely frustrating. I find it frustrating, but we have been led to believe that Panasonic will be releasing a new camera in the new year, potentially called the Panasonic S5 Mark II, or the S5H, or S5S,
Boring.
which is going to have new proper phase detect autofocus like Sony and basically Canon and all the others. Depth from defocus is a stupid thing, and Panasonic have been stuck steadfastly. They've put their heels in and said, no, depth from defocus is the way forward. Clearly it isn't. And actually, I'm going to address that now by, Kath, can you put the on manual focus and focus on me face? This will be fun.
I don't know how to do it.
Twist the top doodah. Where it says, you know, the top one?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, right, okay. So, am I in focus currently? Focus on me, Julie. Is it got the, oh no, it won't have it on the screen, will it? The, if you twist the dial on the front, but don't twist it too much.
It's the front one.
Yeah, that should focus a little bit. So you got the green bars on there?
Don't know.
No more pulsing. Okay. Right, I know. Is it working? Am I in focus?
Yeah, you're in focus, aren't you?
Will do, that'll do. Right, anyway, moving on. So, happy birthday to Rick H. Hopefully you're having a great day. I don't even know where I got to. Oh yeah, I know where I got to. Right, housekeeping. Thank yous to those of you that have sent some bits and pieces in this week. William Bodie has gone over and above, as always, and sent us some awesome chocolates and gifts and a rug for the cats. And also we got the Mike's unboxing Rudolph Man and the Kath's unboxing Pink Unicorn.
It's not a rug, it's a blanket, and Flame hasn't taken his ass off.
Yeah, Flame has not removed his ass from that grey blanket basically all week. He's literally sat there behind us on the box, on top of the Gamemax Gamemax Splinter case. He won't move, he refuses to move. So he's finding it extremely comfortable. Skystalker says, looks great now. Okay, so awesome, and it's stopped the pulsing.
Yes, tell Ugly Bob, yes, we do have the twerking dog.
We do have the twerking dog, yeah, it's up on the top shelf, which I can't even get to because we upgraded Kath's chair to that GT Player racing chair, and in order to get to that top shelf, you have to stand on a chair to get to it, and I'm not standing on that chair because I will fall off and break myself.
You'll be twerking.
Then I will never twerk again.
Never gonna twerk again.
Never gonna twerk again like I did with you. William Bodie says, Kath Churchill, the blanket was for you two. I wish. The bloody cat's got it. Got no chance now.
No, the cat's not dead. He's fully alive. Shall we see if we can get him to come on camera?
Willie Bob says, no pulsing for now for sure. Awesome. Kath's racing chair. It is.
Put you on camera for
Ultimate Tech Hub says, I use the Sony A7 III and no focus issues. I actually wanted the A7C, which was basically the same camera with a flippy out screen. There's Flame. They probably won't focus on that now. Now we turn the autofocus. There you go. You can just see, there is the blanket in there.
Leave my blanket alone.
Oh, I forgot. I haven't turned my RGBs back on. It's the end of the world.
Sorry, Flamey. Didn't mean to disturb you.
Come on. Have I actually broken my RGBs out?
There he is.
Well, there we go. MSI does a weird thing that whenever you unplug something, this RGB, it just has a complete fritz. There we go, got RGB. Excellent stuff. So yeah, we've got our Mike's unboxing Rudolph with his little scarf on and his horns. Thank you very much. I would put them on the Christmas tree, but we haven't put one up because bah humbug. Screw you, Christmas. Baby Jesus wouldn't like it if we put trees up at Christmas time.
Can't shut the blinds. Pain.
Ugly Bob says, sweet Jesus, did you put the
Where did you get
Dalek
that
filter
from?
on your voice there? No, I haven't said anything.
Where did you get it about the tree?
What tree? No, I haven't said anything about tree. I did, but I just,
Oh, it wasn't in
from my
the
mind.
chat. I was gonna say.
Anyway,
I swear I have my chat
moving on. So, you in live chat or top chat?
live.
Oh, okay. Anyway, moving on. So, also, yeah, there was a bunch of chocolates. I would show you what the chocolates look like, but unfortunately they're in there and currently padding my abdomen,
Keeping you warm.
keeping me warm. Although there was some, there's some Kinder eggs. We haven't opened those yet. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be for the kids or not, but I might have to detain those for myself. So thank you very much, William Bodie, for your generosity, as always. And also, Ugly Bob. Ugly Bob is expecting us to basically eat way too much bad foods and get the shits. So, we're not allowed to swear, sorry about that. So Bob sent us a whole bunch of blue roll. So it's fortunate actually, because along with the blue roll, he actually sent in some Arctic MX6. So no doubt we'll be using that in conjunction with that to do some testing to see what this is actually like. I have used some MX6. Actually, this week we did another fix or flop video, which will be out to patrons Monday or Tuesday. Local person brought PC round to be fixed, so it's an older PC, but actually it was an interesting one. I'm not going to give away too much. It's a long video, so you're probably going to want to get yourself a flask and some hot chocolate and sit down and enjoy that one, because it is a very long one. It's actually a really simple fix, to be honest with you, but it just took ages to get there because it is a slightly older PC, and I kind of went through all the steps of the process of trying to remedy it. And actually in the Fix or Flop episode 2, I should say massive shout out to Skystalker, Ugly Bob and Dave Aitken, all of which items that you've sent us into the channel has actually helped this lady and her young son to get their PC back up and running again, which is awesome that as part of a community, I've just put in the kind of time in work and recording it. Sounds distorting? Is it distorting?
It was earlier, but...
Okay. I hate microphones. I really do. Ugly says, sweet, that is what the community is. I just realised I got my keyboard and mouse on the desk over. I'm useless. Right, so anyway, thank you for the blue roll, Mr. Bob. That will be very, very useful. Also sent in some more carbon fibre wrap, which we put on cheap-ass power supplies, especially Cylon. The Cylon, what were they called? No, the Aerocool Cylon power supplies, which, yeah, you don't really want anyone to know you've got one of those. I'm not sure if there's a knife in here or not. Don't think there is. Ooh, there is a tube of, there's some Watsits in there. They don't taste like Watsits, to be fair. But thanks for the thought. There's a squeegee in there as well. Actually, I need to put that somewhere. We will be using some of that. I'm actually tempted to do that on the Aerocool white case that we did. To actually give it some carbon fibre rather than the white stuff to blacken it out a bit. Anyway, moving on. So that was cool. William Bodie as well sent the some RAM as well, some Trident Z performance RAM. This is DDR4 4266 megahertz. That is going to take some serious memory controller powers. So thank you very much for that. That is absolutely awesome. Because if you remember rightly, we did last week or whenever I bought some Kingston Fury RAM, but I accidentally bought a 16 gig stick, single stick, which is about as much use as a VU meter on the outside of your headphones. So yeah, that is awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Bodie. Much, much appreciated. And actually, I kind of think I know where I'm going to be using that at the moment.
Project. I watched your videos on the Kolink RGB mesh case. I got a PC with that case and we'll have to open it up to replace a faulty SSD.
Ah, good stuff. What else? Oh yeah, there were some honey jams as well. Some, I guess like a honey spread. It's in German, so I can't read it. Or I can read some of it. But basically it's honey with different kind of flavours in it. It was very good. Had that today with some muffins, which was good. Not muffins, crumpets. Crumpets with a bit of butter, and then this honey spread on the top, and they were awesome. So thank you very much for that. Dave Aitken also sent in MX5 as well, which is over here, I think. MX6 rather. Getting confused now, so MX6. So I've got MX4, MX. I haven't got any MX5 at the moment, fortunately, because it is awful and it basically disintegrates because they didn't make it properly. Anyway, William Bodie says, did you see Tech Moan today? Yes, I very much did. Yes, that is why I was talking about the VU meters on the outside of a headset. I do like that. Benny Hill says, I like crumpets and muffins. I do. I really do like crumpets. Crumpets are awesome. I basically, yeah, I basically like cremate them almost. And here's little Maisie.
I don't know if she wants to come on.
Does she want to go on? Mabes,
Hungry, I think.
you alright? You're going to run away?
Hungry. She's just been...
Simply not interested. Oh, she wants to sit on the bottom. That's right. Yeah. Okay. William Bodie says, Google Translation is a friend of Mike. Did he forget? No, I didn't forget. Actually, I do have Google Translate on my phone. I should translate that.
Did the M.2 to USB converter arrive?
Yes. Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was down here as well. Where do we put that? It's mental at the moment. I've got so many boxes that I'm waiting to do stuff. Actually, did I put it up there? Where did I put it? You can tell I'm not particularly organised. Well, I am organised, but trying to organise myself in this complete quagmire of bits is ridiculous. Is that it there? What is that? I don't know. I'm not allowed to show that. Thank you for the super chat, Gary. $10. Says Merry Christmas, Kath and Mike. Thank you very much.
William Bodie says Google Translation is a friend of you.
I just said that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Dave. Where did I put that bloody thing? It must be down here somewhere. Sorry, Bob, it is here somewhere. Where did I put it? I put it because I was thinking, right, I need to order a drive to go in there now so I can do my backups and stuff on it. Where did I put it? Did I put it up there? I put it here for safekeeping, which is probably the most stupid thing I could do because I can't find anything here at the moment.
Come on, Poppy. Your turn.
Oh, stuff falling off. Not in there. Oh.
Here's Poppy.
Here's Pops. Where Pops?
In her chewed up
What's going on?
Like a dog.
She likes a nice little box to lie in as well, doesn't she?
She rips it and stuff.
Oh, tired? Boring you already? I know the feeling. And they do as well. You done?
Want to go home again?
So I don't like it here. Tickle your brain?
Mean. She's not got a brain.
She likes a little brain tickle. Right.
Flaxy, that one.
Take him away.
There he is.
Her.
Back with her flamey.
Poppy is the nicest cat. She is nice. She is like a honey badger. Alexa says, I'm going to paint my Thermaltake level 20 HT charcoal grey on the exterior and jet black on the interior. Should look good with pink dye in the water tubing. That sounds awesome. So what else have I forgotten to do? I'm sure there's something else I've forgotten to do. There's bound to be, because I'm very bad at things like that. Oh, actually, I've got my other camera set up as well, I think. Webcam, so we can take a look inside the PC. Oh, actually, I've got Google Translate there, haven't I? On my phone. I should see, where are we? Google Translate.
Right.
Trying to find anything on here is hard work. Google Translate, there we go, I have got it. Awesome. Right. I don't want to have an account. Why do I want to have an account? The last time I used that was to translate some Chinese on something I ordered, which was not working. Where have I put that thing for the drives? That's going to annoy me now.
Yeah, Mabes.
Where have I put it? Where have I put it? Anyway, let's move on. So, I'm going to get my keyboard and mouse so I can actually see what was going on in the chat. Some of you may have already noticed there's a new CPU cooler in the background here. The Deepcool AIO, the LT720, has been taken out and replaced with the Thermaltake Tough Liquid 360 ARGB Sync. I had to remember the exact name there, and I'm very pleased with it. Actually, I kind of personally I like the look of that a little bit more. The square look, the kind of Borg cube on the other one, it was okay. It does actually perform slightly better, about 1 or 2 degrees better in some instances. but this has actually got a much lower noise floor when it's just idling, which for me, for doing this kind of stuff, is perfect. I've actually managed to turn the fans up over what they normally are, so I've got a little bit better cooling performance at idle than I would normally. So yeah, it's awesome. I like it. It's very good, and it's a pretty decent price as well. That PC is going to be going shortly. That PC in its current form will be no more in the new year, because we have got a new case from Thermaltake come in, which is currently under embargo.
Actually, how's that going to work?
It's going to be a struggle. It's genuinely going to be a struggle. So I've got a new case which is supposed to be replacing that. So I've got a real issue where there'll be videos made that I possibly can't release because they've got the embargoed case behind me, which is, yeah, it's going to end up to be, William Bodie says the other one did look better, like an old Windows logo. It kind of did. It kind of did, actually. So anyway, liking that a lot. But tonight we are going to be looking at the new, well, it's not so new now, the Gamemax Spark in white, which some of you actually, when we did the Spark before, a lot of you were saying, oh, that's pretty cool. And I said there's three colours, there's a grey, there's a black, and there's a white version. And I think white PCs at the moment, or at least white cases, are seeming to make a little bit of a resurgence. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments, but certainly we do seem to be seeing a few of them come in now. Maisie, sorry, I've got to move you.
I'll just put her up on there with her.
Yeah, but that's not going to work, is it? Sorry. Sorry, Mabes.
Oh.
You can grab the other case from in the other room. Actually, saying that, let's, if I get this unboxed, and then she can have the box back. I'll use the bluntest knife in the world. I think this knife is one of the last, oh no, is that one of the last ones we borrowed from the BBC?
No, we bought those.
We actually bought them, blimey. So, Gamemax Spark, this is the white version. You've probably all seen the black version before, you maybe aren't interested, but this is effectively the same as the Jonesbow D60, I believe it is. Or is it the D80? Oh yeah, I never get that bit right. Basically, there is like a design which is come from a Chinese manufacturer. I'm not entirely sure which one. I don't even know if it is Jonesbow themselves, whether or not they are the OEM of it. It's quite possible. There's another company, Antec, which some of you may have heard of, and hopefully you have, because they've been around for a long time. Antec do the same thing, and also Inwin have done a version of it as well. They've done the A3, I think it is, A5, and a couple of others, all based around the same chassis. So with this one, I think the previous version, because it was in black, actually was, I don't know, it kind of took something away from it. I think it needed something to contrast it a little bit. Thank you. So this is the new version with the white panel, and actually you're seeing the side bit there before me. I was hoping that this bit was going to be white, because I think that would have looked better, because otherwise there's not really a great deal of white on it other than this front panel, which actually looks quite nice and clean. It's not a gloss finish though, it's like almost like an eggshell finish, which is unfortunate, because I did want to put a Mike's unboxing sticker on there. Bob sent me some unboxing stickers ages ago. I've not got around to put them on anything yet, or at least anything which I thought would be sensible. So potentially it might end up on there. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that this side panel, which is basically glass with the frame underneath it, hasn't been done in white as well. I think that would have been a very nice touch. And also on the inside, again, it's just basically it's the same chassis, but it's, I don't think they've added enough white onto it, which is unfortunate. Let's take some screws out the back and we'll see what is going on. So there's two thumb screws on the top. This isn't a traditional case in the way that you'd normally open it. So you've got two screws on the back, which actually, I should have showed you that really. Got two screws that normally live in there. And this panel just pulls backwards and is removable. So you've got some mesh filtration there. And then that reveals, shame that wasn't white as well really. Or at least had some contrast in it. So that is the top section. So you've got room in the top for, I'm guessing, yeah, 2 140s maybe. 2 140s or 2 120s or a 240mm rad. 280 I think might be pushing things a little bit due to the space constraints and depending on your motherboard. There's a super chat from Tumbril. Thank you very much, Tumbril, for your 10 Canadian dollars. It says, regards to Bristol from snowy Ottawa. Yeah, I'd imagine those of you living in the Canadian wilderness at the moment are feeling the cold a little bit. Some of the guys that I watch on YouTube, there is Casey from Camera Conspiracies and also Vegetable Police, and he's finding it slightly chilly. He has spent a lot of time living in Thailand, and yeah, he feels it in winter very much so. Nick Barnes says, love the case, nice contrast in my opinion. Thank you very much. Rick H says, nothing a rattle can of spray paint won't take care of. I kind of am thinking that. I think really there isn't enough white on this to kind of say this is a white case. Just having the front panel white doesn't make it a white case really. I guess it's kind of similar to the AeroCool. The AeroCool 1 which we had, which just basically had a white top panel and the white feet on the bottom. But anyway, we'll take it apart and see what the deal is. I'm guessing an extra little bit of white on here would make things completely different. Maybe just spray painting the inside. Maybe that's something I might even attempt to do. You never know. Stranger things have happened, and often do. So the side panel is held on 2 screws on the top, and you just lift out the glass, removing that. Nice and easy to do. And there's a Ultimate Tech Hub Mike, $10 super chat for the cat.
Does that mean the cat's got to come back on?
The cat's got to come back on. Stick her in a case.
Which one?
No, don't.
Which cat does he want?
Yeah, which cat do you want? We will send them by freight.
Daisy, Maisie, Flame or Poppy?
Yeah, take your pick. You can have them all.
No, they can't.
Poppy just meowed then.
Is it you, Pops?
Thank you very much. Hi, John. I'm going to sneeze now. No, not going to sneeze, I'm going to yawn instead. That'll get rid of it. So, in terms of hard drive storage or potential SSD storage, you've got this blanking plate here, which doubles up as 2 things. So first of all, it hides the power supply, which would normally live in here. So, Alessa says, that white front is a blank canvas for oil painting your favourite game.
Character.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
If you could draw.
If I could draw, yeah, the only thing I draw is...
Big Bob thinks it needs a dick butt.
It needs a what? A dick butt?
Yeah.
Front cover needs a dick butt. I don't even really know what that is, I don't think. Is that got... Oh, there's another screw, sorry. I'm sure the last one only had 2 screws.
That's what I used to draw on the dartboard, blackboard.
Dick butt.
And everyone else did the design.
So that is for attaching your SSDs on the back of there. They've actually used the space inside this pretty cleverly. I wouldn't say Gamemax have done that themselves. Obviously, it's a design that they've just taken on board. And actually, I've had a little bit of a bone to pick with Gamemax this week, because Gamemax, I've gone over this before, so I'm not going to bore you all to tears with it. Actually, I probably will. Gamemax is a company where they kind of, you've got the main Gamemax company, which is Gamemax PC in America or in Taiwan or wherever it is. And if you want to license their products and use them in different regions, you buy into it, I guess, like a franchise almost, or like a separate company. So we kind of, I wouldn't say work, that's probably the wrong word, but we do stuff with Gamemax UK. So they send us stuff to review, we review it, and we say to them, there's the footage. If you want to use any of it for marketing purposes, feel free, knock yourselves out. Just make sure that you either tag us or link to the original video. That's all we ask. Whereas Gamemax Gamemax PC this week actually took the Gamemax black hole video in its entirety and uploaded it to their channel. And it came up on our copyright thing as a copyright infringement. So it's like, if it was a section of the video, I don't think I'd mind, but it was literally the whole video from start to finish. And it was monetized, and
No tagging.
the only tag was Mike's review. I was like, not overly pleased with that. So I got in contact with the guys at Gamemax UK and said, like, can you please speak to GamemaxPC.com and ask them what the frick is going on, please. If they want to sponsor us or give us some money, then we'll make videos for them, but what are you doing?
William Bodie said you can use the carbon ugly bulb.
Oh yeah,
scent.
that is a good point actually. The carbon fibre from Uggs would do that just the trick. So there it is with the basically everything removed. So you've got a really nice open area to work in, which is something you don't often get with micro ATX cases, because generally you have like a power supply shroud which covers things up and also makes it taller as well. So if you think this had a power supply in the traditional place at the bottom, this is going to be another, I don't know, what's that, 5 inches taller, give or take. So this has got really nice dimensions to it. If you like a nice little compact PC, I think it works really well for that. I'm just a little bit, I'm not say gutted, but I think it would have made a lot more sense to have a bit more white to it. Like maybe just the inside's painted white and possibly leave the outside black, I don't know. What do you think? Yes, Kath.
Bandy.
Bandy.
Second from bottom.
Oh, did you... Bandy. Yeah, yes, I did get the recovery email. Thank you very much for that. And yes, I think we actually did a video on it. It was before Microsoft do a file recovery program, which basically runs kind of like in a DOS window, like a power command. And we did do a very brief video on it a while back, but maybe it's improved. It was in beta back then, but maybe now it's integrated into Windows. We could take another look at it. Right, back panel. Yeah, just solid black, which...
Is that glass?
It is glass, tempered glass, but they've put it on...
How tough is it? Let's drop it.
Yeah, there is just a black backing on there, which I think, again, they've kind of missed a trick there. They could have put... If they'd have done a white backing on there, I wonder if that's still possible. If that is removable or not. It is just a film. I want to scratch it off now to see, but it might just be bonded on there.
Didn't the light work?
Oh, I don't know. Why did the light not work?
Do it.
Benny Hill. Thank you, Benny. £5 super chat from Benny Hill. Thank you very much. It says, not much, but thank you. Always bloody fat fingers. Me or you, or both of us. Thank you, Benny. Appreciate it. Hey, it isn't about the amount. It's about the thought that goes behind it. So thank you very much.
The Johnsbow version is available in all white, but they want a lot more for
Ah, right. Thanks, Shrek. So yeah, the Johnsbow version is available in all white, but they want a lot more money for it. Which I think is a shame, really, isn't it? I think. I wonder if there is a way of making that a white panel. So I think that would be nicer. But you don't want to paint really on top of glass. And I think a plastic coat on there probably wouldn't do it justice. I need to get a knife on this.
Be careful where you're aiming that panel.
I don't want to get a knife on it really, but...
It's broken in that.
You've broken the super chats.
It's because I did it manually.
What do I want? Let's get something sharp. Clearly not my wit. And we'll see. We'll see if this this film actually comes off, or if it is possible to get it off. Right. That does. Oh God. Who's done that now?
No one, I don't think. I think that's a delayed.
That might be a delayed super chat from Benny.
Benny. We'll let you have it again.
There you go. You get double the RGB.
Christmas.
Right. So that actually, this panel. That does scratch off. So I can actually see through that now. There is a little hole there, which wasn't there before. So can you see that now? I've scratched off the layer. So that is just painted on the back there. So I wonder what... depending what they've used on that, you could probably get it all to come off cleanly. Scratching it is probably not the best of ideas, to be fair. So yeah, they basically use the same panel from the back one. So potentially we could make that white, and I think that would be much nicer. But then you'd need to debond those metal strips, possibly, and put some sort of thinner on there.
White vinyl would work a treat.
I think white vinyl would probably be the easiest way, because it's glass top to bottom. It'd be a lot easier to find the edges, but then I do find white vinyl is really hard to apply nicely and get all the bubbles out. But I might actually do that. I think putting a white vinyl on there would make a big difference. I think it needs to have a little bit more white to it, personally, for them to call it a white case. Or a white version of a case. Because the inside is obviously going to be blacked out. And having it blacked out on the inside, I think, does make sense, because when you're doing your build, if you have a white interior, it's really hard to cable manage, because you've got to do it super, super cleanly. But I think having just that extra bit of white on the back side here would make a bit of a difference. And maybe even the top, just using some acrylic paint on the top, just to make that white. I think that would be quite nice, but then getting a white paint to stick to that isn't going to be easy. And also, because you've got the mesh on the bottom, when you spray paint it, you're probably going to end up mesh. What, on here?
Oh no, sorry.
It's too much ventilation.
Can't you just go through it with a needle?
Yeah. I suppose you could remove the mesh, because the mesh really is not doing a great deal. It's only stopping stuff coming in, really, because you're going to have exhaust on the top, I would have thought, most people. Because you've got intake on the bottom, you're going to have exhaust on the top. So the mesh on the top is only really kind of preventing dust from falling into the PC when it's off. Whereas when it's on, it would be, generally would be positively pressured, so you wouldn't have that. Other key things, this has got USB Type-C, which is always a fantastic thing to see, especially in this modern day, where we're getting a lot more USB-C stuff now, especially things like M.2 CADs, like Bob actually sent one, which I think is USB-C and USB-A. Even flash drives, that sort of stuff, they are starting to become more and more USB Type-C. If you buy an iPhone or an Android phone, if it comes with a charging cable or a sync cable, generally now that's going to be USB Type-C. I think as well, not entirely sure if it's everywhere around the world, but I know certainly in the United Kingdom and Europe, they have said that all electrical devices have to be USB Type-C by, I think it's 2024 or 2025, maybe earlier, depending, I'm not sure about the legislation. Maybe if others know, do let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's a very nice little chassis. I really do like it. It's a really nice layout. It's quite easy to work with. The power supply goes in this section here. You don't have to use a massive power supply, so you can use a little mini-sized one if you want to. Gary, our parts hard to find in the UK. Here in the US, parts are out of stock for the holidays. It is starting to look that way, yeah. There's motherboards are ridiculously expensive here at the moment in the UK, like ridiculously expensive. In fact, I bought part of a motherboard, which I'll see if I can find. So I bought part of a MSI B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi. There it is. I'm just waiting to get the rest of it to go with it, but we've at least got the I/O shield for it, so we're part of the way there. I'm actually looking to find a broken B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi to actually put that with. There is a company in the UK called Parts for PCs on eBay, and they are basically a sub-company of VIP Computers. Now, if you don't know who VIP Computers are, in the UK there's quite a few distributors of PC parts, and VIP is one of them. So they sell to the retail sometimes, I think, but mostly they sell to the trade. And they've got a whole bunch of motherboards without backplates. So I've been patiently looking to see if I can find one which matches up with his backplate, which I got sent with another board which it didn't even fit. So It's like, these on their own are worth about a tenner if you go onto eBay, because they're a rare thing. So yeah, I was very pleased that I had that. I was thinking, oh, I'll get one of those. Bob says, that's like the 3D printed one that Dave A never printed off for you. That is exactly what it's like.
But we have asked your dad, haven't we?
Yeah, I've asked my dad as well, because my dad's got a 3D printer, so I'm gonna, well, I can basically send him files and he'll do it for me. Although he does live about 30 miles away, so it's not like I can just jump in the car and get it that easily. Although I would have been able to if it wasn't been for the bloody Bristol tax rip-off thing. What's it called? The clean air zone. So I can't drive to my dad's now because I have to pass through a clean air zone, which my car does not comply with.
But his does, so an 80-year-old
Yes,
man.
so he can, because his car does. So at 80 years old, he can drive all the way here. So it's, yeah, ridiculous. Who'd want to live in Bristol? Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I am looking for a motherboard to put in here. I'm not entirely sure what I want to put in here. It's a really nice little case, and I really want to do something quite nice in it.
Ultimate Tech's off.
But cheers, Ultimate Tech. See you, Mike. So I'm really confused about what to do. I've got a Ryzen 5 4500, but so that would make an excellent media little PC, somewhere nice and cool and quiet. But I also want to make it a little bit more of a hot box, just to see what it can deal with. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of Intel motherboards on the market at the moment, which are relatively cheap. But I don't really want to get an Intel chip, especially a 10th or 11th gen, but maybe I will. I don't know. Yes, Kath?
Wild Bill's here.
Wild Bill!
Do 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 do. And Nick Barnes.
Hang on, Wild Bill says, evening here, I'm here but late as usual, so I won't comment on anything. Ain't you lucky, as I'm watching from the beginning, but it's nearly 9:10, sorry. No worries.
Just fast forward 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can fast forward half an hour, you haven't missed anything.
Nick Barnes.
Nick Barnes. Question, Mike, I saw that site on Discord when no accessories included. Does that imply the CPU cooler backplate is missing too? I don't think so. I wouldn't class the backplate as an accessory. Maybe it is, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've had a board from them before, but yeah, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get it. Normally it says in the actual description what you do and don't get. If it says board only, I would say because that is an integral part of the motherboard normally, you should get it. Things like M.2 coolers you potentially might not get. And obviously things like SATA cables, I/O shields, maybe even Wi-Fi antennas, you might not get those either. But I would hope that, yeah, I would hope that you'd get at least a backplate.
Wild Bill, but is he at the beginning?
Yeah, Wild Bill, if you're still at the beginning and you're chatting, the mic gets better.
And Daniel?
Daniel, just bought the Kolink Unity Code X. What fans would you suggest for my RGB What fans would you suggest? Oh, and my RGB strip on the front broke. How can I fix this? That is a very good question. I would... what fans would I suggest? I quite like the Arctic... what are they? Grab one. If you like your RGB and you want to use RGB... Oh, I can't even find the bloody things now. Where are they? They're in here somewhere. Ah, there we go. I use those. That is the Arctic P12 PWM PSTA-ARGB 0dB. They've got like a pass-through for the PWM and also the RGB, so you can daisy chain a whole bunch of these. I've actually got 6 of them at the moment running in the PC here, so there's 3 at the bottom and 3 at the top, and they are genuinely awesome fans. They're not the cheapest out there, and if you've got the Unity Code X, you've probably got space for 10 of them. So it is going to be an expensive outing. Failing that, I would say if you want to save a little bit of money but want similar kind of performance, then...
Sorry.
Oh, what was the ones that we had? They were up here. The TY6 pack. If you check out our video on up here fans, the 6-pack, those are the ones I would suggest. They're about £35 now, and they come with a hub as well. So that might be worth taking a look at. They are pretty decent as well. They're not as good, and they don't have such a good PWM range, and arguably the lighting isn't quite as nice, but they are going to be, what, probably at least half, if not a third of the price. So you can get a pretty good bargain with those. They're pretty good. Shrek says, Arctic RGB fans are the best. They are really good. They are very good. Somebody said about paint on here.
Oh, it's for letters, pink dyes not arriving from Amazon.
Right, okay. Benny Hill says, if you want to assassinate a tyrant, send them a PC without a backplate from Australia. Yeah, I'd imagine that would be not very good. Ugly Bob says, go pink or go home. Stephen Peter says, what about an Intel i3 12100 or 13100 if those happen build? Interesting little chip. Funnily enough, I did have this conversation on Discord very recently actually when we were discussing the merits of maybe something like a 12100 or even an 11100 or 11101, 105, whatever it is, and the 10100 chip from Intel. Being they're only 4-core, 8-thread, I think. For me personally, I would probably rather go Ryzen 5 3600, even though it's an older generation, just for those extra 2 cores and extra 4 threads. Because I feel that the way things are going, especially games-wise, more threads are starting to be utilised, obviously because of how console gaming works and AMD basically having multi-threaded chips in consoles. It does seem to be passing down to gaming, so you do find now that even though games previously that ran really well on maybe 2 cores, maybe 4, now actually starting to get a bit sluggish, or it brings the rest of the system down. So I was thinking along the lines of another 10100 and getting a H410M board in here. But I'm starting to think that 4 cores, 8 threads is starting to show its age a little bit. Especially if you're doing it as a new build. If you've got it already, or you can get a hold of it cheap, then I think it probably does make a lot of sense. But buying brand new now, the Ryzen 5 5500, the 4500 or the 3600, I think in terms of 6 cores, 12 threads, and also being unlocked so you can overclock them if you need to, gives it the edge over the Intel counterparts where they're basically going to be locked. So the performance you get out of the box on day one is basically it forever, which I still feel is Intel's weak point. If they allowed overclocking on the chipsets and unlocked the processor cores for multiplier, overclocks, that sort of stuff, I think Intel would, well, they don't need to sell more because obviously they sell ridiculous amounts anyway. But I think for the enthusiast market, like us, unlocking those chips would make a massive amount of sense and would be one of those kind of things that would make you think a bit more kindly towards Intel. Because buying a case series SKU and a unlocked motherboard isn't a really expensive thing to do, which isn't as important for those higher end chips anyway, because they're pretty much balls to the wall already. But it's the lower end chips like the 10100s, the 10400s, which actually a little overclock would give them a really decent little boost. Yes, Kath? Kieran Atkinson Wood. Can I buy the Deepcool 720 at Kath Churchill? It is actually currently sat on the box there, taking up room, so potentially yes.
It's not anymore.
Is there?
No, there.
Yeah, it is there.
It was on that box earlier.
Very possible. I do need to make some room here. I've got a ridiculous amount of boxes. I don't know how it's happened. It's just all of a sudden it's got completely out of control. And there's boxes everywhere. I'm a bit pissed at Thermaltake because I really need to get that case built, but I cannot show it on screen, which is pissing me off massively. There's parts of it here, like an LCD panel as well for the side, which I'm not allowed to show you, but I'm itching to. It's a fantastic case from Thermaltake. I can say this quite happily at the same time as talking about this because they are totally chalk and cheese. This is a micro ATX, quite compact form factor and designed for a certain client and size and build, etc. The new Thermaltake case is a monster. It's an animal, it really is, but not an overly expensive one. I keep on saying that. I keep on teasing this case, and I really, really, really want to be able to show you all, and I want to use it. It's there, it's looking at me. Hi. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Kieran again. Is the case similar to the VXR? No. No, it's very dissimilar to the VXR. I would say it has more in... It's probably closer to something like the P5 TG in terms of layout. It's kind of like a traditional layout, realistically, but it's just they've done a lot of things very, very well. Lucky Man 1 says £66.28 on Amazon for the Gamemax Spark. Yes. Shrek says, you can say it, Mike, the Spark is for budget builds. Well, I honestly don't think it is. 60 quid for a case. Like, when did 60 quid become budget for a case? I know the world's been weird for the last couple of years, but to me a budget case is like 30 quid, 40 quid. When you're hitting 60, 70 quid, that's premium, I think, personally. But then I'm skinflint, so what do I know? I'm wearing Angel's boyfriend's old jogging bottoms for the last week, so hey. Ex-boyfriend, sorry. I'm in...
That you've got out of her bin.
Yeah, she was put in the bin. I am so sad.
And I've got George's old
Yeah, and Catherine's wearing George's old t-shirt that he won't fit in anymore. So, yeah, we're doing things thriftily. That's the way we roll. We don't spend money unnecessarily.
And I'm eating apple pies that were best
Yeah.
before the 15th of November.
Matthew Day says, does it even have RGB? Does what have RGB? This doesn't have RGB. No RGB. And it's nearly 70 quid. What has the world come to? We're living in a crazy world, ladies and gentlemen, where cases cost 60 quid, 70 quid. Motherboards cost at least 100 for something half tidy, or even even entry level. When did this happen? When did I went to sleep one day, back in the summer, and then something just went wrong, badly wrong, and motherboards are suddenly like 30, 40 quid more expensive each. It's just bananas. Absolute bananas.
Peter S.
Peter S. I can't see.
It's up a little bit. By Chibbo Man. You can do that as well.
I can't even see that. Insomniac Gaming.
No, up. Chibbo Man is in capitals.
I got it, yeah. Chibbo Man, I've got the Johnsbow D30 in white, which is identical to the Gamemax Spark. The D30 frame is also in white, not like the Spark, which is also in black. Thank you, Chibbo Man. Much appreciated. Peter S, sorry, that was what I was aiming for, sorry. Would the B450 MSI AC backplate fit with the MSI Gaming Pro Carbon Wi-Fi? Thanks. MSI. The AC is the ITX one, is it? I'm not sure. I would need to get both of those up in front of me and carefully go over it. I don't know is the honest answer. I'm trying to think of the layout of the Gaming Pro Carbon Wi-Fi. I'm not too sure. I would need to look at those, sorry. Peter, if you want more help on that one, drop a message into Discord and I will, when I'm done and I've got some time, I'll take a look and see what the deal is.
James Brock answers it as a Hooters t-shirt. I wouldn't mind an American style one.
Kath wanted to work at Hooters just to get the uniform.
But the UK uniform is rubbish.
The UK uniform sucks.
I don't even know if we've got Hooters here anymore.
I think there might be.
Not in Bristol, it's a shop.
Kieran said, so is the case a traditional style case? Yes, it is, yeah. Or is the kind where you're supposed to have showing off all your components? More importantly, does it have a side radiator mount? I have to have a look now. Oh, that's all going to go over it. I have to look on the side now. I can't see. I'm not sure if it has. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure actually. I'm gonna have to defer on that one because literally it's so buried underneath boxes. Actually, saying that, no, I can't see from there. Let's have a look. Hopefully you can't see the box because I'll get into trouble. Oh, I want to lift it up now. Is that out of shot? Yeah, that's right. Right, let's have a look. Radiator mounts, front, top and rear. So no side mount. Which I prefer. I don't like side mounted radiators. I think it just adds more additional complexity to a build that is not necessary really. Oh, Kath,
yeah? That
motherboard is about to fall off the other chair. Would you mind kindly please the Asus one?
It's going to fall off your side if I push any further.
Ah, that'll do, that's fine. We haven't looked at the bottom of this yet, actually.
Bowman, I don't know how to say it. If you can also check out the Vitro.
The Vitro, was that a case?
AL-mesh-7C.
Okay, I will look into that. On the bottom, again, no surprises here. It's the same sort of deal. I don't get why they've done these. Well, I do understand. They've got these rubber bits on the bottom which hold, not only do they hold the hard drives or if you're putting additional drives in there, but they also hold this mesh filter in place as well, which is a little bit of a nuisance. I guess it does what it kind of needs to do. There are magnets in there as well, so I'm pretty sure on the build I did previously, I actually took those out and left them out because they're just a pain. We've got plenty of options on the bottom there for putting a couple of 140mm fans in, or two 120s. I think 120s are probably the better. Although saying that, when I did my last build on there, I found I didn't really need to put anything in there at all. It worked very well just using the kind of negative airflow setup by having some fans on the top. Which, yeah, it was pretty cool. That's supposed to go under there? Yes, it is.
Gers asked, which B550 board would you recommend?
Which B550 board would I recommend? That is a very, very open-ended question. It depends what you're putting it with, really. At the moment, because everything is so expensive, I'm going for things like the Gigabyte B550 Gamemax V2. That's pretty good value at the moment here in the UK for somewhere in the region of about £100. That is pretty much the entry level now for B550 in terms of price, which is bizarre because it's almost the same price as the ITX version. Since when did normal ATX motherboards become the same price as ITX? There's something definitely really wrong with the world when ITX motherboards are sometimes even cheaper than ATX boards. It just means the world's gone absolutely bananas. David Underall says MSI B550 for the win every time. I would agree if the prices were okay. The B550 Pro-A or the Pro VDH Wi-Fi, those generally are my kind of premium, my kind of preferred motherboards that I would go for. But yeah, they're just incredibly expensive for what they are at the moment. We were picking those up at some points at like £80, and now they're like 150, if not more.
Carly says on
Madness.
your Fractal North case you have side panel mount.
I've not seen that, I don't think. I don't know what it is. I don't really like Fractal cases. There's no real reason for it. Something else actually which I don't like about this case is the back. There isn't a lot of room for cable management. Because it is so compact and you've got the power supply where it is, most of your cable management is at the front of the case. So in this section you've got a little bit here, and I do find that where the EPS connection goes through, if you've got a modular power supply, you're generally okay, but if you've got a captive one, you sometimes might struggle to get the cable up here for the EPS. But yeah, other than that, it's a nice case. I am looking forward to doing a build in it, if I can find a micro ATX motherboard which isn't stupid. Yes, Kath.
Lib Supremist, is the ASRock B550M still legend any good?
B550M still legend. I honestly don't know. I've not used an ASRock board in quite a while. I don't think the only B550 I had from ASRock was the Pro 4, or no, not the Pro 4. What was their entry level one? I did have that very briefly. The Steel Legend boards are generally very good, and they cover quite a lot of bases. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything I would look out for particularly to say no, stay away. The only thing I don't like about ASRock is their fan monitoring software, I think, is awful, and their RGB software is awful. So if you rely on either one of those two on a regular basis and you're in and out of those settings all the time, that would be something which I personally would try to avoid, because it is just painful.
Clear banner, please.
Clear the banner, banner. There we go. So yeah, ASRock I feel have fallen behind quite a lot in terms of their general usability in that regard. If you've just got the system set up and you basically just doing a one-shot deal, building it all together, like fire and forget almost type thing, then it's absolutely fine because you just set it up once and that's it. But I do think that if you're someone who likes playing, tweaking your system, you like to mess around with all your colors, RGB, etc., then it is a little bit more, I don't know. Gigabyte were in a similar position where their software just feels really dated and clunky and old. Now, don't get me wrong, MSI software isn't 100% great, and like we said earlier, if you unplug anything on there and plug something else in, it just goes mad and it turns the RGB off. So you do have to kind of keep on top of it, but the actual interface, what it does, I'd say MSI's fan control is possibly one of the best implementations of any manufacturer on the market at the moment. It certainly beats the Asus one by a country mile. And yeah, who else? There's Asus, MSI, ASRock, Gigabyte. Really, that's the four big players. You also got BioStar in the mix, but I haven't had a BioStar board in... And what year is it? 2022. So I don't think I've used a BioStar in 20 plus years. So my opinions on that are, yeah, I don't know. Actually, let me know in the chat. Does anybody in the chat actually have a current BioStar motherboard? I'd be interested to see what it's like, what the deal is now. Whether they've improved, or do they have RGB software? Is that a thing now? Kenneth. Can't even see Kenneth. Ah, Kenneth, there we go. Hi Mike and team, really like your channel. I'm looking from Nebraska, USA. Happy holidays to you all. Bless you. Thank you very much. James Brock says, ASRock would be my last choice of the big four. Yeah, they have, I feel personally, they've fallen from grace quite a lot. They still do some good boards, but I do feel, I've said this before, so for those of you that have been around for a long time, you'll have heard me say this many times. I feel that the B450 Steel Legend and probably the Pro 4 were their peak of design. They were good boards, they were relatively good pricing as well, pretty much all the time. They were stable, they had all the features you'd want, they had a pretty decent implementation of RGB and addressable RGB. They were just generally all-round decent boards, but when they started coming out with all the new stuff like the Velocita and the Tai Chi and all those other kind of things, it's almost like they went from being a kind of a friendly gamer's motherboard for the kind of budget to mid-range market, then all of a sudden they set their sights on the Tai Chi and the Velocita and all those other high-end boards, Riptide I think they do as well, which were basically premium level boards, but didn't necessarily have the performance to back it up in terms of VRMs and build quality and all that kind of stuff, and still quite old software. So yeah, I think that ASRock have they've aimed a little bit too high and they've overshot, and they've kind of disregarded the budget market more so. It could be just down to the availability of chipsets and manufacturing processes, etc. Obviously, the pandemic and all that stuff hit a lot of companies really hard, and it's always difficult to tell how that has affected people.
Shrek damage.
Shrek. Where are we? Shrek OC, 100%. Oh, sorry. That wasn't to me. Shrek. ASRock and Gigabyte are both companies you buy from because they're cheap, not because they're good. I think, yeah, in a lot of respects, I think you are bang on the money there. I've recently bought a Gigabyte board, which is, some of you have probably seen this already. This is basically the best value AM4 motherboard on the market here in the UK at the moment, if you're looking at ATX. So this is the B550 Gamemax V2. It is exactly what I said it is in the review. It is one of their just good enough boards. And it is, that's exactly what it does. It doesn't do anything exceptionally well. It's relatively basic. It doesn't have Wi-Fi, doesn't have Bluetooth, doesn't have a ton of RGB LEDs on the board. It doesn't really have a particularly good VRM. Yeah, it doesn't have very good VRM coolers, but they're all within what you would expect for a reasonable board, which will allow you to do a bit of overclocking. It's got PCI Express Gen 4 for the M.2 and the PCI Express graphics card. It's got enough USBs, it's got enough RAM slots. That is kind of what it is. It's a very meh board. And generally, well, over the last 2 to 3 years that this has actually been out, or at least the Gamemax version, this is the V2, so slightly updated, but over the last 2 to 3 years, this board has been very much one of those things right at the back of my periphery, because it was always a similar sort of price to the MSI or Asus alternatives, and those generally I would favour. But this actually, at the moment, it's not a bad price. £100, £105, depending where you're buying it from. And literally, there isn't anything else on the market, especially if you're looking for brand new. There isn't a great deal out there that's going to help you. And the benefit of this is the fact that it does come from the factory. This is part of the V2's range. So it is AMD 5000 series ready. So you don't have to worry about flashing the BIOS, which is actually a good thing because it doesn't even have BIOS flashback. That is how much of a kind of low-end board this is. It's very hard these days to find a mid-range board that doesn't have BIOS flashback, because I think most manufacturers have realised it is actually a very handy and useful thing to have. So yeah, this is... I'm actually not even sure why I bought this. I'm generally not. I'm considering using it in the PC behind me when I do the swap over for the new case. But I don't feel that this has any benefits over the MSI B550 Gaming Plus, which is what I think is in there. Yeah, Gaming Plus, which is arguably a nicer board and has BIOS flashback, has got other stuff. And when I bought that, I think that was £90. So yeah, it just goes to show how things change. That board now, if you went to buy it, is about 150, 160. Things are getting ridiculously expensive and I don't like it. And I think it actually is with, I'm going to go on to a little bit of a rant here, but I feel that AMD have basically shot themselves in the foot. Because they come out with the new AM5 stuff, the processors weren't screamingly fast for what they were. They are expensive for what they are, definitely. And some of their own range, like the 5800X3D, is faster than most of them. Chuck that in with expensive AM5 motherboards. You cannot get an AM5 motherboard for less than about £170. Then you've got to chuck in DDR5, which still is going to be a little bit more expensive, although that is getting better. And it's basically just killed the market. So they've put up the prices of normal motherboards, or inflation has put up the prices of normal motherboards. You've still got some decent low-end processors for reasonable money, like £100. But I think, yeah, AMD have basically killed their low to mid-range market. And they've done it in pretty much one fell swoop. That's really disappointing. Anyway, yes, Kath.
Dutch Jan.
Dutch Jan, how you doing, Dutch Jan? Question: what was the purpose of a cheap? What is the purpose a cheap motherboard or a good one? Well, that is very much one of those kind of questions. Depending what you want to do with your PC, you don't probably need a good motherboard. A good enough motherboard will probably do just as well and save you money. But now it's kind of, they've blurred the lines between entry-level budget and mid-range, and they're all basically a very similar price, which is madness. Even A320 motherboards, which have been on sale previously for even as low as $29.99 here in the UK, as a genuine retail product that you can purchase. And now they're £60 for an A320 motherboard, which £60 not that long ago, you could have got something like this, or maybe something like the B550 Aorus Elite. It's just insanity. It really is insanity. And it's taken a lot of the fun out of it for me. I used to love scouring the internet for different prices and cheap motherboard deals and putting it all together. But now it's just like, just sit back, put your feet up and wait it out and wait for the next lot to come around. Or wait for the prices to come back to some form of normal, which they might do. I don't know if they will or not. Shrek says, I have a Gigabyte B650M board, and it's a really good board for the price. I didn't want to spend more than $200 on the $200 on the AM5 board. Yeah, it's just $200 for a motherboard. It just like blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. I'm so used to paying between sort of £50 and £100 for a reasonable board, and now we're spending sort of between £100 and £200 for a reasonable board. It's a massive jump. Ray Sent, oh sorry.
Sorry, go on. That's next one down.
Ray Sent says, 2 years ago bought a used MSI B550 Tomahawk for 70 GBP. Amazing board, now new in the shop costs 150. Yeah, I know, it's insanity. It really is insanity. Andy says, could you give an overview of the advantages of one chipset over another, please? Might be larger number better, more modern. That kind of really is it now. In theory, it should always be, so the first number is the kind of the generation. The second number is normally the kind of the position in the stack. So if you have like a A320, that is at the bottom of the line. A B450 would be the kind of same generation, but the next kind of level performance up. And the 50 is kind of, again, slightly more features. If you then went to the X470, so again, another number higher, so it's part of that same group, but the 70 denotes it's just got a few more features than the 50. It's actually quite confusing how they've done it, but I would argue that you're best off, there's a high end and there's a low end, and I would say you're normally best off somewhere in the middle, unless you specifically need some features that the higher end chipsets give you. Basically the kind of the main thing that the higher end chipsets will give you is in like the B550 range. So the B550 will give you PCI Express Gen 4 on your graphics card and your M.2 slot at the top. Whereas if you went for the X570, which is the next one up the tier, then all of your slots and your M.2s are generally going to be PCI Express Gen 4 across the board. Whereas on the B550, some of it's going to be PCI Express Gen 3. So for things like capture cards or additional M.2 drives, you're not going to get the speed out of them that you would from the others. But do you really need that? Most people probably not. I'm not sure if that explains it very well. I might do a video on it at some point, but it's a tough one to cover, really. Gaster D, what do you think will be the best budget motherboard brand model for 12th gen i3 12100F? I would probably go with, well, best budget is going to be H610, definitely. B660 isn't going to give you a great deal. You're never going to be able to overclock the processor, so even if you went for a Z series board, it's pointless. Depending on how long you're planning on keeping the system, and if you're going to upgrade the processor to an unlocked processor at some point, then it might be worth getting the Z690. But then if you're spending Z690 motherboard pricing on a 12100 build, you'd probably be better off getting an H610 or B660 board and a faster processor. Putting your money towards a faster processor to begin with. It's really complicated. Mark Marlowe says, bought a brand new A320 motherboard once from Box UK for $19.99 delivered. I think I remember that. I think I bought one as well. I think it was the MSI A320. Or it might have been the Asus A320 M-K. I'm pretty sure I did it as well at the same time, because it was one of those things that's like, wow, that is incredible. Let's have a look here. Well, Bill says, right, I've caught up. Mike's got a B550 in front of him, so talking about that. Low ends. Lol. Okay. Shrek. Oh, where did that go? Oh, no, I've gone too far. Why is my thing gone mad? Oh, there we go. Shrek says, AMD is trolling Intel by copying their chipset number scheme and confusing everyone. Yeah, it does seem to be doing that. Lib Supremacist says, could I ask, when you do a BIOS flash with USB, can the CPU socket and RAM slots be empty? Yes, if you're doing it with the BIOS button on the back of the motherboard or on the board itself, yes. In general, that is the best way of doing it, because it rules out anything else interfering. Carlo says, I've been looking at the Gigabyte B550 Aorus AX V2. Price just spike up out of nowhere, but X570S Elite dropped under 170, so I took my chance for it. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. If you're looking at a board at the moment, AM4, something like the X570S range actually looks a little bit more attractive than it did, because the B550 range has come up to such a level, and the X570s, because they're not selling, have come down a bit, so they're kind of meeting in a nice area. I was actually considering an X570S Elite myself, but I didn't. Ordinary Dude says, Ryzen build, 2400G, ASRock B450 ITX Fatality, etc. Decent enough for basic tasks even today. That is what I got in the front room in my little media center PC. It's actually a 2200G with a B450 ITX AC from ASRock. No, sorry, ATX IC Aorus Elite Gigabyte. Ray says, Mike, can you overclock on B660? There are a few boards for it. You can overclock RAM, but you can't overclock the processor, I think. I'm going to second guess myself now. No, I think that's right. A letter says, I'd get the best mid-range motherboard and put the extra money into a better GPU or CPU. Yeah, I think pretty much most of us will probably agree with that. I think that does make a lot of sense. There are going to be some people that are going to need certain features. Maybe they're doing music production or something, so they just want a really high-end board with decent onboard audio or low noise or whatever. But for most people, a mid-range board and a decent processor or GPU is going to be far more beneficial. Cosmic Space Muffin is in the house and says, good evening, how you doing, Cosmic?
Oh.
Long time no see. Hopefully you and the family are doing well. And I bet you're freezing your butt off.
And doggy.
And doggy. Shrek says the ASRock B550 Velocita is $129 on Newegg. That's actually not bad. What's that saying, Bob? I've stopped at 3. So 3 pints of vodka. Ordinary Dude says, I got the X570S Aero G on sale over the Black Friday weekend. I think X570S is a lot more attractive now. Although saying that, I never saw the problem with having the X570 boards with the fans on the chipset. My Asus X570 Tough Gaming, still going strong. I've actually got it underneath the desk. That's what nearly fell on the floor just now. But that's a great little board. Wow, Cosmic Space Muffin, minus 21 degrees Celsius for a week now. We've been dipping down into like -5, -3, -5 for about the last week.
It's not been too bad.
It's been alright.
Same as most winters.
Mish Tech, how you doing, Mish? AM4 board prices are too damn high. They are. It's just too much. It is too much. And I don't know, Mish, what do you think? Has it, for you, killed the enthusiasm and the market? I'm more interested these days in picking up used bargains. I really am. And even saying that, some of the used bargains ain't bargains anymore. Alessa says, of course I call my $300 MSI Meg X570 Unifier mid-range motherboard. You would. You would. Where do I get to? Mark Marlowe says, still rocking MSI X470 motherboard with Ryzen 5 5800 in it. 5800X, sorry. James Brock says, not a fan of the time and effort put into overclocking, just better off getting a better CPU if the price justifies its increase in performance. I would actually, yeah, I would agree with that. Personally, I'm very, I wouldn't say anti-overclocking, but I very rarely indulge in it in any way, shape or form, unless there's a little bit of interest and I do it for a change just to make a video. Sometimes it can be a little bit interesting, but in general, I think overclocking, I even turn Precision Boost Overdrive to auto rather than on, because it's just like, well, it's not that really good an algorithm. Most processors have got way too much horsepower anyway, so do you really need to up it that much? I personally don't think you do. Mish says, yeah, absolutely killed off some flipping enthusiasm. Just as CPU prices take a dive, boards skyrocket. They have. It's just, yeah, it is very, very ridiculous. It very much is. I don't know. And I don't know what I'm going to put in this little box. It is going to be a case of wait until Monday, see what is on the, God, this bloody chair. See what is on UK Hot Deals and see if I can pick up a deal. I'm still of the opinion that people are not going to buy motherboards at these prices. And it's going to get to the point where the manufacturers and the distributors are going to be like, shit, we've got a lot of stock. We need to clear this quick. And I hope there's going to be a big price drop after Christmas. The Christmas sales might wipe that out. So people might do the usual thing where there's going to be a few last minute purchases, but most people will be waiting for the New Year's sales, seeing what's on offer, and then you're going to get CX coming out on the, I think that's the 5th, January the 5th. So there's going to be new announcements for new motherboards, B550s, etc. And I'm expecting AMD going to release a 620 chipset, hopefully, for their new processors, and also some maybe 4, 6 and 8 core lower end AM5 processors. And if they do that, you can guarantee that manufacturers are going to shit a brick and go, oh my God, we've got all this inventory. We need to shift it quickly before those boards come out in probably March, I would expect. March, maybe April, I would expect to see A620 motherboards and possibly 4 core, maybe 6 core Ryzens. They might cap it at 6 core. I don't know, but we'll see. Shrek says, A620 chipset with PCI Express Gen 4 lanes. I would have thought so. I'm very much expecting the A620 chipset boards to come out with PCI Express Gen 4, because you don't need PCI Express Gen 5 for anything at the moment. Literally, I don't think there's anything on the market. There's maybe some M.2 drives in the pipeline, but they've not hit the shelves yet, so it's pointless. Aletta says I'll buy an AM5 system about the time the AM6 stuff comes out. It's been one of those generations where there's not really any real reason to upgrade. I think personally, again, let me know what you think. Who's Snapchatting me now? Sorry. That's right, don't worry. It's all good. Our daughter's having some fun up in London Village, so
London Village.
Keeping an eye out to see what's going on. Actually, do you want to crack open? You're bloody eating all the mince pie things.
They're not mince pies, they're apple pies that went out of date on the 15th of November.
I need some food. I haven't had my dinner yet. Get those beef trimmings open and we'll feed the cats and entertain the viewers with the cats fighting.
You can.
Over meat. Sorry, I've got to have something to eat. It's been a long day. I've literally had 1.5 crumpets today, and that is all I've had. And I am wilting. We can't have that. Cosmic Space Muffin says DDR5 versus DDR4 is just pointless at the moment. It is. It is absolutely pointless. I have seen this week here in the UK Crucial DDR5. I think it was 5200. I didn't pay a massive amount of attention to the actual frequency of it, but it was 100. It was either 102 or £100 and pence for a 32 gig kit, which is basically not far off DDR4 pricing for most DDR4. So if the prices come down to a suitable place, I don't know, I might take a swing. Don't know. Ray says, guys, what's the best place to sell a PC? That's a very hard one. I would say, for me here in the UK, Facebook Marketplace, which I know a lot of you are going to go, oh. But actually it makes a lot of sense because you can get the people to come around, collect the PC from you, see it all working, then you can work out whether or not you're going to have cash, bank transfer, whatever you're going to do. It just saves on a lot of the fraud as well, because if they turn up, like you say, well, it's going to be cash only, so then they've got to give you cash. So you can't go wrong with cash, and really it's more them to be a bit scared that the PC might die quickly, or as soon as they leave the house, and they've just spent that cash. But yeah, I think for me, I like it that way. eBay, selling anything expensive on eBay is a fool's errand at the moment. It really is. Because all they got to do is turn around and say, didn't arrive, didn't work, got a scratch, whatever. And eBay are murder for being on the side of buyers. So immediately they're going to turn around and say, right, there's the money back. And then you're stuck there with there's the money back. And where's my meat trimmings?
Well, what am I doing? Bringing it into you?
Yeah, please.
What, all of it?
Just
You're
the
making
meat
rolls?
No, oh yeah, go on then, I'll make rolls. Let's make some rolls. Mike's unboxing and roll making. How to make a bloody roll. Let's. Do I want butter? Do I want butter on my roll? I don't know. David Andrew says DDR5 32 gig Crucial kit is 85 GDP. Nice. Cosmic Space Muffin says sounds like Mike needs some ass. I've been off the beer and alcohol. I have got the esophagus thing.
That might need softening.
So I've not been. Look at this, cheapskate lifestyle clearance, 31 pence for Sheldon's 6 Lancashire open bottom muffins, as cooked by Paul Hollywood. And also we've got some barbecue chicken slices. Those were also reduced down to 65p for yellow stickers. I might see if I can get one of these machines to print those out, and I'll just go crazy in Co-op and just stick my stickers on everything. And also we've got some beef trim, which we actually paid full price for, which I'm a little bit upset about. Anyway. Whole grain mustard. I don't want whole grain mustard. What are you trying to do, kill me?
Do you not?
No, that's going to burn my throat. Oh. Damn it.
That's good for you.
I'll have... I don't know.
What will you have?
I don't know. I might get you to make it, actually. John Sullivan says those muffins look great. And James Brock said, love an open bottom. And Bob said, oh, I do love a Sheldon's bottom.
Never had them before.
No, we've never had.
We used to get some kind of muffins. I think they were Tesco ones, weren't they? We toast up and put all day breakfast inside.
Good point. Shrek says as well, don't forget eBay commissions. Yeah, that is something else to bear in mind. If you're selling a PC, obviously, if you're selling through eBay, you've got eBay seller final price listing fees. So do make sure you go for one of those times where you get those offers on, where they're either £1 flat fee or something. And if you're using PayPal as a payment medium, then obviously you're going to have to pay for that as well, because there are PayPal fees. And if you do goods or services and all that kind of stuff, then uh-oh.
Oh no, Fellaini.
It's feeding time at the zoo for the cats.
No.
I'm going to make sure this isn't poisoned.
No, Poppy. Stay down.
I
No,
think it's alright.
Can they have a little bit each?
There you go, monkey balls.
Come over here then.
That's a bit tough.
Oh. Ow, flame.
That reminded me then of that GIF on Discord where you got the girl being hit with all the hot dogs. Oh, James Messias says got sick, been sick all week. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate.
Where's Maisie gone?
Don't know. Maisie.
She's been here all evening.
Bless her.
Until the time of the beef.
That's better. Got some energy now. Sorry for any of my vegetarian or vegan friends, but I honestly don't think there's... I think the meat content in this ham trim is probably minimal at best. It's not quite Bill Gates special, but... Mark Berry says I had an eBay dispute, sorry. Talking a mouthful. I had an eBay dispute recently and didn't get my money back, lol. Ah, that's interesting, that's unusual.
Oh, come poor little Maisie.
Bob says, the cow was dead when you ate the beef. It's not like you killed it yourself or anything. This is true. This is true. David Underhill says, vegan is caveman for can't hunt. Cosmic says, meat, the only way to go. It's kind of vegan, like...
It is, isn't it? It's made from grass.
Like Irie Wolfman says, ham is made from 100% UK grass.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
Well, I don't know, they're allowed to even go out and eat grass anymore.
Oh, Dutch Jan's coming in to follow up on the other one for a 50-50. I had an eBay dispute recently and did get my money back. Michael Craig says, always joining these things too late. Hi Mike, hi Kath, hi kittens. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, it's not too bad.
There's a bit there of pop.
Oh, we did actually get a relatively good result as well with the AliExpress graphics card. I think patrons have just had that video up, and members I think also. So, yes, basically, quick recap. Got the graphics card, actually it's still down there in the box. And one of the fans was completely obliterated, so got into a bit of a dispute, and basically there's not much you can do with AliExpress. Kind of, there's a bit of a language barrier there, I find at times. It is what it is. So I basically asked for a refund, but they're saying, right, if you want a refund, you have to send the card back to us, and we will check it to make sure that it is damaged, which I could do, but UK postage is ridiculously expensive, and making sure that that gets to China in one piece and gets signed for, tracked, insured, etc., basically going to cost me roughly at least half the price of the card, which I'm not doing. So they offered an alternative, which was, we will give you half the money back, and that is it, call it that. So what am I looking at?
Ugly Bob.
Ugly Bob says, oh, I forgot to tell you I ordered some replacement fans for the GPU last week. They should be with you in a week or two. Well, I actually did order some myself as well. So I've got 2 sets now. Hopefully one of them will work and some of them won't. Ugly Bob, I was drunk when I ordered them, hence why I didn't remember. You volley. So, anyway, it might work out in my favour because I'm actually tempted to buy another one of those graphics cards and see how it turns up. If it turns up broken again, now I'll have some spare fans for it. But otherwise, they're really good fans. They're really good graphics cards. So, other than the slight issue of the fans not working, I would wholeheartedly recommend them. So, yeah, it is what it is. Let's make a roll. James Brock. Mike, did you offer to send them pictures? I did. I did send them pictures. That was the first thing I did. When you start up are these sliced already? No. Bloody cheapskate rolls. 31p paid for 6 rolls and they're not cut. Mother thingies. I've not even got a decent knife to do this.
Do you want a different knife? Yeah.
What's the matter?
Do you want a different knife?
What's that you got? As a Bob sent the fans?
Yeah.
We'll see which ones get here first, Bob.
Order date the 10th. When did you order yours?
I ordered mine the day after the stream, I think. No, did I wait? I waited to find out what they wanted to do, so Bob's might turn up before mine anyway.
10th was last Saturday, so yeah.
And to be honest with you, being this is coming from AliExpress, there's a pretty good chance that none of it's going to turn up anyway. And also, for those of you that are not local to the United Kingdom, you probably knew that... You probably knew that our stuff at the moment is ridiculous. The postal service is completely... I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetised, but it's ruined.
But it's
And
ruined every Christmas.
there has been pictures on the evening news here in the UK of our local Bristol sorting centre where there is basically a complete, almost like a car park full of trolleys full of our mail.
But it doesn't take a lot, does it, to pull everything outside for a photo shoot?
This is not spreading.
I know, that's why I said let it acclimatise a bit.
Acclimatise? I'm wasting away.
Just eat a slice of
Right.
each bite. God, you could almost see through that one.
Let's get that going. Buttery goodness. Just cut a slice of butter off, pretend it's cheese. That's exactly what... Oh, this is salted butter. Taste it, really salty.
Don't put salted butter in your coffee. Always use unsalted.
Right, that'll do. I've made an attempt. Where's the frickin' meat gone? There we are. La la la, 1. How many slices? 2?
Yeah.
Get it in there. Excuse fingers. Got to fold it up so it's all nice and neat. Sorry about this. Actually, I don't want to apologise, I don't care. Where's my meat? Whole grain mustard.
Welsh Tony's in.
This has never been opened. Hello, Welsh Tony. I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to hurt my throat. I will be in much pain. Oh well, what the hell. So, Mike's unboxing and roll making. Some would say I was a role model. I wouldn't. HP sauce would be nice on that. Oh yeah, HP sauce.
Do you want some HP sauce?
Well, not now. I've got that on it, haven't I?
Okay.
I might on the next one. This is my dinner.
Can't afford butter, but ours, we got a load of bargain gone off butters.
We did. Has this got the gone off tag now?
Probably gone off, but
We bought a load of gone off stuff.
it was like 25p a pack.
Is that beef? Yes, it is, Tony. Mike's cholesterol going the way of motherboard prices. Cholesterol's good for you. Don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say, am I?
We're not supposed to say it, but it's true. Cholesterol is a good thing. Your brain is made of cholesterol. If you don't have cholesterol, you have no brain. Or no brain food.
I don't know if brain do your heart in it.
The fat in your brain is cholesterol. And in your eyes as well. Cholesterol gets used around your body to rejuvenate stuff. We need lots of cholesterol, good and bad, believe it or not.
Of course it's real butter, Welsh Tony.
Real butter, yeah. It's straight from the horse's udders.
Don't eat margarine.
Right, do you want to give the cat some of that? I'm begrudgingly giving it. Look at their eyes.
Get down, Poppy.
Poppy, get that down. Right. Hello, everybody.
Mind your brother. Maisie.
Bit dry.
Much fine.
David Underhill says Mike's Subway franchise next. John Sullivan, whack on some Marmite. Ooh.
Poppy, Poppy, Poppy. You might be the little cute kitten, not the scared off. I'm giving some to Daisy.
O'Reilly says whole grain mustard is weak in spiciness. It's more vinegar than spice. True. It is what vinegar actually. Paul Lamont says, do you think that mustard was a good idea? Let's see what he did there. That was good. I'll be alright because I will have some natural yogurt in a minute. Shrek says mustard gets its flavour from being ground. Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah, because every now and then you crunch one of those like corn, like a peppercorn, and you get the, well, mustard corn, I suppose it is. Is it mustard corn? I don't know. Calf, have a sandwich. I don't need a plate. Desk's a mess anyway. Oh, pretty good.
Thanks, babe. I bet you put far too much mustard on. No, you've done it right. Poppy Dora.
Go away. My pot pie. Mike, is it mustard seeds? That's, yeah, seeds, well done. Thank you for pointing out the obvious that I've overlooked. Go away, cats. This is really nice. Cheers, everybody. This is my dinner. There's a bloody hair there. Clearly not one of mine. Well, no.
Put me off
What are you all looking at me for? Thank you. Go away. Get down. Right. Say hello to the people, then go away. Look over there. Look what Mummy's got. Whatever. Poppy. Mark Berry says I had hot dogs with fried onions. Oh, nice. Did you have mustard and ketchup? Ugly Bob says that's a pube. It's long enough. Welsh Tony says that roll looks much better than my pasty. Poppy, get off. Go away. Foxtrot Oscar.
Popster.
Right. Go and put that in the shed or something. Go away. Go away, giddy. I am actually Cartman. Right, go over there. Thank you.
All gone.
Cats. Right, where was I?
We've only had 1.5 muffins all day.
Yeah, we had. Yeah. We'll have to crack out the chocolates in a minute. I know we've already eaten most of them. Thanks, Mr. Bodie. Right, so what motherboard do I get? I'm very I'm confused. I really don't know what to do. I really want to do a nice job on that little PC, but it just it frustrates me so much that there's just nothing which is relatively B550 or Elite. If I went for the micro ATX one, I could probably get away with it.
Okay.
Is that actually on camera? No, it's right, it's just off of camera. Poppy, don't lick your butt on camera. It's very bad. What CPU? Now that is the thing as well. What CPU do I go with? do I do like a no GPU build? Although it would be quite nice when the fans are actually finished for the RX 580 to put that into that little build. I think an RX 580 in there with something like a 5500 or 4500, a reasonable micro ATX board is going to be a nice little powerful gaming PC for like 1080p gaming. That makes sense to me. But I don't know. I don't like expensive motherboards. It's really making builds awkward. If you can pick up a motherboard for 50, 60 quid, a reasonable one, it makes building decisions so much easier. Michael Craig says, could you go B450? Since RX 580 is PCI Express Gen 3?
Hot.
I certainly could. Get off my sandwich! Get your butt in my face. No.
Poppy.
No. Welsh Tony says, being an RX card, I would say a all AMD build. I like all AMD builds. I do actually. I do like the integrated drivers now. I think the Adrenaline software, it's actually matured really well. Although saying that, some of the latest updates have caused a lot of people problems. But then it has on the Nvidia side of the fence as well. So I don't think it's going to be too much bother. Nick Barnes says, agree, RX 580 may as well Gen 3 PCIe. So if I go Gen 3 PCIe, then I'm looking at a micro ATX B450 board. So I might as well use a Ryzen 5 4500 or 5500 because they're going to be PCI Express Gen 3 also. So motherboard wise, I'm going to be wanting to lowball it a little bit. So either a used ASRock B450 Steel Legend or Pro 4 might be just the ticket. It's probably going to end up being air cooled, I would have thought. Purely because the fact that there isn't really a great deal of point water cooling a 3600, even though I have done. If the water cooling is cheap enough, it's worth doing. But for the sake of a 20 quid air cooler, something like the SE214 XT, which is always a really good bargain, you'll get some really good performance out of that. Michael Craig says Steel Legend would look sweet in that case. Yeah, and I think the Steel Legend, because you've got that extra little bit of addressable RGB around the chipset, might give it a little bit more lighting inside. That might be the way to go. Nick Barnes says, what motherboards do you have already? I have nothing micro ATX, I don't think. No. I've got an Asus X570 Tough Gaming. That's full-size ATX. I've got the Gigabyte B550 Gamemax V2. That is full-size. CAFS one is a full-size. My editing PC is full-size. That's full-size. So yeah, I don't have anything in micro ATX at the moment.
Poppy.
Poppy's micro ATX. Irie Wolfman says a white motherboard. Well, that's, yeah, I'm thinking the B550 ASRock, Steel Legend, or the Pro 4 both have quite a few white accents on them as well. Arguably some of the Asus Prime range as well, the B450s. That might be a way forward. I'm not sure. I'm really going to have to look and see what is available. It's a really tough one. It really is a tough one. Mish says Asus Prime are usually pretty good for white builds, silvery. Yeah, exactly. Chris McGraw, how you doing, Chris? Says, oh, and hello, Freckle Puny as well. Sorry, didn't say it very well. And the Freedom House.
Don't know if you've seen.
Prices are just nuts here in Canada. I paid $350 for a 660 last week, and the same card is now 100 Canadian dollars more. not counting I ordered it through a local shop and asked for a small percentage of fee, shipping and taxes. Well, the 6600 at the moment here in the UK is just slightly over £230, which you can't really get much better value at the moment. The RX 6600 is the card to buy. If you've got around about £200 and you're looking to buy a GPU in the UK and you want a new one, RX 6600 from Power Color or possibly the Asus Dual, all day, every day. Where's he? Carlo says, how long is it possible to use the 5600X CPU for? I did PPView undervolt and it gained performance, and at load it stays under 60 degrees. Sounds good. Well, the fact that you've undervolted it should make it last a little bit longer, which is always a good thing. Freckle Puny, there's something wrong with you. We need to get back to green motherboards. Green motherboards! Oh, that was a terrible era. I remember back in the early 2000s we had Gigabyte boards were generally blue. MSI boards were red. Asus were brown or green. Actually, some MSI boards were green as well. A green PCB is a weird thing, especially now with tempered glass.
This is someone who drove around in a car covered in it.
I did, yeah, true. James Brock says for 1080p gaming, that is, you might squeeze a little bit of 1440p out of it, because the RX 6600 is basically the same as like an RTX 2060 stroke 2060 Super on a good day. So those will quite easily do 1440p gaming at sort of 60 to 70 FPS. O'Reilly says 8-bit had a beige PCB, I think. I think they did as well, yeah.
Who had the yellow?
Who had the yellow motherboard? That is a very good question, actually. I know recently ASRock have done some bizarre art type thing, and there's this yellow and red. Lucky Man says 6600 XT is a really good card. Yeah, the XT is a really good card. Freckle Puny says I got a 6600 fairly recently from for £240 from Overclockers, not a bad price. That is, if it's anything other than the Asus Dual or the Power Color, you did really well. Those two are the ones that generally tend to be very low. Dutch Jan says I have a RX 5700 XT Red Devil, so the 6600 isn't much of an upgrade. No, kind of a side grade, although you will find you're using a lot, and I mean a lot, less power. Most of the RX 6600s max out about 100 watts under full load, whereas the 5600 XT is what, 175 to 200 watts at times. And even something like the 3060 Ti, going to be knocking 200 watts, and it is going to be a bit faster, but not hugely. Ivory Wolfman says ASRock were yellow. I don't remember those. Remember ASRock when they first came out, they were green, and then they were blue. Don't remember yellow.
Okay.
Mark says 6600M from China, great value if you want to take the risk.
What's a good micro ATX case? I've not built in that form factor, but I'd like to.
Well,
the air fryer is nice.
micro ATX is going to be, I quite like the Spark. It's a pretty honest case. If not, Kolink's Citadel mesh. That's nice to build in. Nice lot of room in there as well. What else is there? Micro ATX.
That Rocket, was that?
No, that's ITX. Trying to think micro ATX. Yeah, there's not really the Gamemax Commando, or is it the Trooper? The Commando. That's quite good. Cheap and cheerful. Rally, don't tempt her to do things bad. Shrek says, I remember ASRock being purple. There must have been, I think there must have been a period somewhere in the mid-2000s where I can't remember anything about computing stuff, which is weird. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I like these ones. Freckle Puny, a daft question, probably, but I'll ask it anyway. Is it worth going from a Ryzen 5700G to a 5700X or 5800X? Especially if the price is good and I could sell the 5700G. Yeah, the 5700X and the 5800X are going to have PCI Express Gen 4 support, whereas the 5700G is PCI Express Gen 3 times 16, I think. So your graphics card is going to benefit from it in certain instances, and maybe your drives as well, depending on what is connected. If you can get a good price for the 5700G, yeah, I would swap it all day long. If you don't need the integrated graphics, get rid of it. Wild Bill says, what happened to that case you were hiding under your desk? It's still under my desk. I'm still hiding it. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say what the name of it is. Actually, can I get open? Yeah, let me open I'll make sure it's not actually visible. I'm going to see if it's actually online anywhere. Any information about it. Because if there's information about it already, I can just point you in the direction. I don't have to say it. I can just say, look what I found.
Ugly Bob put it in Discord if that helps. I think.
What?
I know, that's our Wolfman, sorry.
Let's reject all those cookies.
What is it, George?
Ooh. I've just realised that there is another product of the same name from Coolermaster with exactly the same name. That's not going to go down well. I wonder if they actually realise that. How old is that? Okay. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, that's from 2013. So that's a good 10 years, so I'm sure that's absolutely fine. Although it might find it a bit weird when we go through searches. That's going to be very weird for YouTube, for the algorithm. Because you'll be looking for one thing, but you'll be going to see another. Yeah, so there is no mention of it whatsoever on the interwebs at all, so I'm not going to say what it is. Chris McGraw says, live mixer boards from ASRock are looking weird. Yeah, I'm not overly keen on those. I don't know why. I don't like motherboards that are overly, like, over the top, unless you're putting it into some sort of theme.
James was worried about her collar being tight, but she's just got like...
She's got fat neck like me.
No, there's plenty of room on it, isn't there?
Don't know. Yeah, I get... Yeah, it's fine. There's plenty of room in there, Babs.
Don't say it.
Oh, look, she's all cuddly now because she thinks she might get some... Right. I'm wasting away. You didn't even see that, did you? You're useless. Go. James, thank you. Dutch Jan says Bob has a nice board on Discord. Don't think I can open that. No, don't switch. No, well, not going to be able to do it from there. I give up.
Just if I can see it and you can see it from there.
Yeah, do that. Where's my bloody mouse gone? There it is.
Look, it's me with beef.
Oh, for God's sake. Lucky Man says, half a dozen cheese balls to get my dog to take his meds. You got to trick him into it, haven't you?
Or...
Oh, what's that? What brand is that? ASRock?
Yeah. Z97.
Right, so yeah, the actual bits on it are yellow, but the board is not. Sorry, yeah. I was thinking about the PCB. I was thinking, I don't think I've ever seen, there might have been years and years ago, a Asus board.
Oh, look.
Or...
I'm fascinated with Poppy.
Oh. There was a... it might have been Asus. Or... What wasn't... There was another brand... A-Bit. I'm sure A-Bit did a yellowish board, but it's more kind of goldy coloured, I think. Those are pretty cool. Come on, Pop. Oh, she's smart.
Look.
She's smart. What's that?
It's Molly watching Poppy.
Oh, bless. Sorry. Sorry. Someone's asked about a PC for sale. Is it still available? Yes, it is.
Otherwise it would be taken off.
Otherwise it wouldn't be on there, would it? Silly boy. Hope he's not watching.
Lucky Man, try some coconut oil. Our cats.
Oh yeah, coconut oil. Cats love that. And dogs. Freckle Puny says, I think the ASRock B550 board in my PC is very black. Dark grey. I think black motherboards, or at least ones which are kind of neutral, work really well. But having said that, if you've got a certain set... Poppy! Get off! Ooh.
If you finish with your plate, should I just take it home? Just eat it, babe.
I'm trying to.
Be human and just eat it instead of teasing the cat.
Say a bit of yoga. Thanks, Poppy. Right, where is that drive thing that Bob sent? I'm going to have to find it. There's a cake on my desk.
I know, I let you have that.
I don't want it. You have it. But, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Where have I put... Where have I put that thing?
I didn't want a cake, did I, Pops?
I'm terribly sorry, Bob. I don't know where I've put that. It is in here somewhere. I said I'll put that to the side and we'll show that on the stream. That's slightly annoying. But since then, oh god! But since then we did do the Fix or Flop episode 2, and everything went a little bit crazy for that. I was like, oh right, hold the press. Got to try and fit in another video. Chris says, for the black motherboard, I prefer the looks of my X570 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. That's a good looking board, actually. My B550 in my case looks like it came from Wayne Enterprises in Gotham City. Looks like it survived 6 nukes and Chuck Norris roundhouse kick to the VRMs. Very good. Right, yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this evening. I can't think of anything else. If you find any motherboards which are micro ATX, preferably AM4, and are a good deal, please post links to our Discord or email. Email address is down the bottom there, mike@mikesunboxing.com. I really want to find one of, well, something which is going to be good, and something which, hopefully, that I haven't done already, which is going to narrow it down, because AM4 has been out for ages, and I think we've probably tackled almost every single board. I don't think there's many that we haven't taken a look at. Although, the B450 mortar, I don't think I've seen one of those, or Bazooka. Is that the Micro ATX version? Bazooka is the Micro ATX version of the Tomahawk. Maybe you'll have to look for some of those. Anyway, I think that is going to wrap things up for this evening. Thank you all for joining us, as always. Hopefully it's not been too bad. And, well, most of you are talking to yourselves in the chat anyway, so it's awesome that you're all getting along and being such an awesome community. Like I said earlier in the video, we will be doing another stream on Christmas Eve. All things going to plan. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do. So that is going to be hopefully a bit of fun. Never know, might even crack the drinks out. Might do some sort of bizarre build thing, I don't know. Not entirely sure, but we'll do something. Yeah, I suppose all I can say is thank you all so much for your super chats and your continued support. If you've got any comments or questions, obviously put them in the video description below if the video's gone to video on demand. If not, you can join our Discord and continue the conversations over there. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you on Christmas Eve. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Kath.
Bye.
Did you actually hear that? She said bye. Bye!